Hello, greetings, citizens. Justiguy has arrived. That's pretty cool, right? Yeah. So, I just got back from I would think what many would agree is probably maybe I'm gonna start a shitstorm by saying this, the second best Dragon Ball movie in recent memory. From second being to Battle of Gods, and but might be maybe tie. I don't know. It was great. It was great. But that's not what I'm going to talk about. I'm not here to do a review or anything. Blah 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 blah. Whatever. But as I got back, I was like, you know what? I've talked about this on Twitter before. I don't have much else better to do besides be here on my lonesome with my crappy internet connection and life going crazy, and bring up this one topic that I've wanted to talk about before. And this is not really a scripted. I don't know if you can see. You can't see me making wild hand gestures. I would love to get on that someday. Like and subscribe, and if I get famous, maybe fuck it. I'm sorry. This is like I said. This is like totally just fucking. I'm making this up as I go along. So, I mean, I'm not making it up as I go along, but this is something I've wanted to talk about for forever. I've kind of gotten into it on Twitter before, so forgive me if I just kind of go off for a minute. Basically, watching this movie. Great movie again. Well, here's the thing. And this is not a comment on the movie because, like I said, this is a topic I have talked about before. But basically, I mean, you read the title, you read the whatever the fuck I'm putting in the thumbnail. Cell, Dragon Ball, Cell, Dragon Ball's Cell, the guy, the Cell, the man, the myth, the legend. He deserved better, and I don't mean the one in the movie or whatever. I mean the real Cell, the perfect Cell. So. I would like for you to just sit down with me for just a moment, if you could, and let us take a moment to look at the course of the story from Cell's perspective, if you don't mind, if you are okay with that, if you're okay with doing that, if you are. I can't even see if my face is working anymore, if anything, because I'm kind of just going. I'm looking away, and anyway, sorry. I'll be quiet now. No, I won't. That's the reason I'm here, is to not be quiet. I'm sorry. Anyway, look. Cell was started out, we don't know the specifics, at least I don't think we do. Maybe it was confirmed in some interviews, something that happens a lot. So this could actually be completely redundant. Regardless, Cell's only parent, if you can call it that, was Jiro's quote-unquote programming. I don't know. I don't think we know for sure what exactly kind of interaction he got with Jiro in that original timeline. I mean, I assume, because, see, I don't think we know. I don't want to just try to start this off making assumptions because I just want to talk about the character, so whatever. Point is, it doesn't matter either. All Cell had was the mission. He had the mission and what Jiro made him and what Jiro made him out of. I think we can all agree on that. So, he is basically hardwired with these missions. One, of course, kill Goku, revenge on Goku, blah, 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 blah. Two, he needs to consume 18 and 17, and he needs them to be complete. So first off, right off the bat, I know this is going down a weird road, but that means his whole existence, right off the bat, he feels incomplete. I know that is a weird way to look at it, and I doubt, Toriyama really put this kind of thought into it, although maybe he did, I don't know. I mean, that would be a very interesting way to look at it if we go back and this was intentional. I don't think it was, but if Cell legitimately came out thinking, there was something truly missing, like, this was like, I mean, well, not even truly, like, that was Cell's perspective. So, he comes out and he's like, he is not whole. These are his other parts. He needs them to be not just perfect, but complete. I mean, I think there's something, I don't know, there's something, I don't want to say relatable about that, but you know what I mean? It's sad in a way, like, because first of all, it's not Cell's. I think the biggest thing that bothers me about Cell, about a lot of Cell's story, and about the quote-unquote treatment he gets after the series is that he really got the freaking short end of the stick as far as the villains Dragon Ball go. Like, I mean, holy shit, like, Frieza gets to come back, Boo gets to come back and get reincarnated, and Cell kind of, I mean, well, we know what Cell gets. He gets nothing, essentially. He gets to be the scapegoat for Mr. Satan to get rich, which turned out all fine and dandy, but I digress. That's not a big deal. We love Mr. Satan here. You know, we stand Mr. Satan. You can't see me. I'm like holding my hands together. Anyway, Cell again comes out. Start off going rewinding. Sorry. He starts out, come into the world. He does not feel perfect. He does not feel complete. He is empty, and he was made because, you know, Juro, he is just fucking Juro, to grow. And I mean, maybe this was the only way he figured how to make Cell be able to grow. He needed to eat people. So, you know, this is, sure, this is monstrous and horrific and like, oh God, what a fucking terrifying creature, my God. Again, it's not Cell's fault. Not only is that not Cell's fault, if we consider Cell, it's not like Cell was a cannibal or anything. It's just, he's got to do what he's got to do. Like if we set aside, you know, morality, just Cell isn't a human or even a Saiyan. I mean, okay, he's kind of a human, he's kind of a Saiyan. The point is, humans and Saiyans do not eat the way Cell eats. So Cell's life, and the only reason Cell has to exist is, you know, to become complete, to beat Goku, and the only way he can survive to do these things are to, I mean, he's got to eat and grow. So now we fast forward to, well, not fast forward really, I haven't really started talking timelines here, but, oh, haha, timelines. Anyway, you get Goku, you get, not Goku, you get Cell, who has appeared in this world. He time traveled, and it's like, oh shit, these things are going to be in the way. I need to eat, I need to grow. And I mean, like, it's not like he's, you know, out here enslaving people or just, you know, sadistic. I mean, okay, we can argue sadism and all that, but he's just kind of doing what, from Cell's perspective, and it's not like anyone really ever sat him down and be like, hey, you can't do this. It's not, Cell never really had a chance. Like, I mean, that's going to be the theme of this video. Cell never had a chance, but Cell never had a moment as far as I can tell. It was just Cell grew in the lab, woke up, searched for androids, did not find androids, found time machine, went back in time, hibernated, woke up, went to find androids. And that seems to be, like, I think Cell, so Cell is kind of a baby when you think about it. He's like really no different, literally, and genetically and blah, 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 than Piccolo was way back in the day, you know what I mean? I don't know why I'm making noises like that, I'm so sorry. But my point is, Cell is, in a sense, almost as much of a child as Majin Buu is, just, you can't tell. He's, I don't know, you could say the Trunks to Buu's Goten if you want to look at it one way, I don't know. And so you have this child, okay, or this, I mean, creature. We'll go with creature, not child. That's, I don't want to get into a semantic thing if we focus on that too much. Point is, his existence is being threatened. So now we're at his, you know, his imperfect form. He's gonna eat people. He's gotta eat people. He's gotta eat. He's gotta survive. He's gotta, whatever. Like, yeah, you might be thinking, oh God, this guy's crazy. We're trying to forgive Cell? And, I mean, does that sound really that much crazier than letting go of, and I say quote unquote, things that, you know, Vegeta did, or Buu, or maybe even Piccolo, and so on and so forth? Because we have a lot of characters in the cast that have done some pretty crazy stuff before they turned around. Whereas Cell kind of had no shot to do anything, like, ever. And I mean, look, I get we're talking way too much about a fucking shonen series, and this was a character that only even exists because editors got in the way. So obviously he was never going to get a shot when you really think about it. But I mean, he didn't. He really didn't. When you look at it in context rather than out of, he didn't get a chance. That, when I think about it, kind of in a way seems almost out of character for, I mean, I'm sure people have talked, help, I didn't actually look, maybe this is not even a crazy take and people have had this discussion for many years, I don't know. But I mean, it's like, you know, it's kind of like how it's kind of fucked that Goku will spare everybody except his own fucking brother. But, you know, maybe the whole idea is Goku could not forgive Raditz for turning his world upside down, and I don't know. There's lots of theories there, I think. But, or he's Goku and doesn't give a shit, and he doesn't see Raditz's family, and it's like, oh no, my family is these other people. You're just this guy that came to kill me and tried to kidnap my son. I don't. Well, you were just a villain. I don't care. But regardless, you got Cell, and then Cell, you know, so my stance on imperfect and semi-perfect Cell, that was just his following, all he knew, his programming, his orders, his survive. He needed to survive, like any creature, animal, being, humans even. Humans are like that. If there's lots of ideas about what humans would have to do if they had to hunt sentient creatures to survive. This is a whole huge topic of conversations. Maybe if Cell had been given other circumstances to grow up and be raised and blah, 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 he would turn out differently. Who knows? He never got the chance to find out. So we'll never know. But then he becomes perfect. And, I mean, at that point, he's honestly, he's kind of just a Saiyan at that point. Like, yeah, I know he looks way more like Frieza, but I feel like and I think maybe this was the point, the whole, maybe this was intentional, just a contrast between Gohan and that arc and blah, blah, blah. But I honestly have always felt like he's way more of a Saiyan than anything, because, he becomes perfect, he achieved his goal. He did what he was set out to do, what he was made to do. He became perfect. He became complete. He absorbed, he attained his other halves after all this time and everything and every setback and every near-death experience. He did it, And then what? That's why we get the Cell games, because, like Vegeta did at the top prospect of Perfect Cell. Perfect Cell was like, well, these guys got so strong in such a short amount of time. Ooh, I like the sound of what would happen if I give them the chance. There's no way I could lose, obviously, but I can't give up this one and only opportunity if I kill them now. I mean, that's not what Frieza would do. I mean, or not for the reasons Frieza would do it, I don't think. It's fucking Vegeta, it's fucking Goku. I mean, yeah, but that's how the androids even happened in the first place. They didn't go hunt Jiro down, they gave them the chance. And so, given all that, it's like, Cell is just, in a lot of ways, I mean, obviously, there's the joke of, haha, literally inside he is a Saiyan, but in a lot of ways, he was just another Saiyan that, I mean, it doesn't even matter that he is, really, but he's just some kind of character that really had a shit upbringing, and I guess this is true for a lot of villains, but in the context of Dragon Ball, where he is weirdly like the only main one of the entire run that never got a proper redemption, unless you consider like Raditz and Nappa main villains, because I mean now even Frieza's come back, Piccolo obviously came back, there wasn't any other one of like main Dragon Ball, or like if unless you count GT, I don't know, like, I mean obviously if you look to other series there are villains that don't, but when you look at just Dragon Ball, it's just, it stands out. And I mean, when I look at this and I think, well, this is weird given this story of this character that just really is kind of depressing when you think about it from their point of view. And I don't know, I am obviously thinking too much on it, but the other thing is there's just, I think, a lot of potential there, because not as a, like a fighter or a warrior, but I think as a character, I'd really like to see what Cell would do with that second chance. What he would do in a world where all of things are as they are now, where he is by no means a threat anymore, where 17 and 18, are like, for some reason, able to rival gods in power, where Gohan is the way Gohan is, however you want to talk about that, where essentially the way when Goku just looks at Frieza, he's just like, if he doesn't do anything too bad, I'll go after him, but if he doesn't, it's fine, I mean, if that's how he's treating if that's how Goku's going to treat Frieza, it's like, I want to see what Cell would do with life, It'd be cool to see what he could do. And also, yeah, sure, it'd be cool to see what the character could do in terms of, getting like power-ups and new forms, where Saiyans can become gods just by holding hands, where Frieza can become golden and Namekians can become orange. But I really would just be way more interested to see what Cell, that is, for one, initially plainly outclassed by everyone around him, what he could and would want to do with a new life, a second chance. Because he never, I don't think, really even got a first chance, never mind a second one. Because, I mean, like Majin Buu, you know, he was really from the start and almost all the way to the end someone else's pawn. And whereas Buu was strong enough to kind of turn around and, you know, all that stuff happened, Cell just kind of got, I would, you know, one could say maybe overwhelmed by his Saiyan side right at the end there and never really got a chance to sit down and think about it. You know, maybe if instead of being killed, like, what if Vegeta had gotten wiped out at the end of their first fight? I mean, that's almost kind of what happened when you think about it. Instead of just letting him go, like, I'm mixing it up, but I mean, you know what? Maybe that's why. Besides for the fact that, oh, Toriyama wanted to end it at the Cell Saga, but they made him keep going. Yo. But you know, Vegeta and Cell, I think, are like really actually very similar in that they would have potentially turned out very similar, or at least their starting points there are. I don't know. I might be totally wrong on that, but I mean, I don't think Cell would have, you know, grown up to be a really adorable dad down the road, but at least in the respect that at their one point where they were being beaten, I genuinely think if Cell had been forced to retreat the way Vegeta had at the end of the Saiyan Saga, there could have been something there. You know, instead, Cell got that big power up and was like, haha, I am strong, I will take my revenge. Instead of going through that little saga that Vegeta had to go through, you know? Because if Vegeta had that happen to him, of course he'd try to kill everybody and they'd have had no choice but to kill him. It's literally actually, when you think about it, the exact same thing, kind of. In a way, I don't know. Except, you know, Vegeta turned into a giant monkey instead of whatever. So, yeah. Really, now that I'm saying it, maybe their similarities are why they kind of don't know what to do with Cell. And it isn't actually Frieza that's keeping Cell from coming back, it's Vegeta. Who knows? Personally, my pet theory is actually that I think Norio Wakamoto is kind of mostly, but not entirely, done with voice acting, and that's the main reason why. But don't quote me on that. I haven't done a lot of research into it. But that's my pet theory. Regardless, I don't know. I mean, Cell's always been my favorite Dragon Ball villain, and I think I don't want to say I pity the character, but I've never felt maybe not never, but there's always been something about his story that just didn't feel good to me. You know, I didn't like that he never got even more than like, oh, well, you know, Raditz was Goku's brother and or whatever. Like, even more than that, like, at the end of the day, Cell just had a fucking garbage father, and that took him down to hell. You know, I know that's really oversimplifying it, but I don't know. That's me maybe being way too much of a softie. I don't know. Anyway, that's basically about it. Thank you for watching this if you did. If you want to see more like content like this, I've been wanting to get back into doing it again, so let me know. If you enjoyed the new movie, let me know. I really enjoyed it. I'm so glad I finally got to see it. I just had a big smile through that most of it. If you want to know what's been going on with me or whatever, you can follow me on Twitter at Justiguy, because streams not going to be coming back for a while. Lots of single player, blah blah blah, let's play content coming for a bit, because that's really all I can kind of do with my situation right now. But I don't know. Anyway, just thanks for sticking around. How do you feel about this? Am I totally off base? Is this a common opinion in the fandom? I really have no idea. I don't really follow the Dragon Ball fandom all that much, so especially with the movie coming out, I was trying to avoid spoilers, so, you know, whatever. But yeah, for now, I mean, what do I know? I am just Justi, after all. So yeah, thanks for watching a whole lot. Love you. And until next time, until we meet again, I'm afraid this is gonna have to be farewell. So yeah, farewell.